Life has a way of accumulating things, doesn't it? Not just physical things that pile up in attics and basements, but also invisible things, worries, old hurts, obligations we took on decades ago, even the endless stream of digital noise. It's easy to reach a certain age, maybe close to that big 7-0, and suddenly feel weighed down, like you're carrying a backpack that's gotten heavier and heavier over the years, filled with things you might not even remember putting in there. This feeling of being burdened, whether by possessions or by the invisible ties of the past, can really steal your joy and energy. You might look around your home and feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of stuff. Or you might feel emotionally drained by relationships that no longer nourish you. Or even just find your mind cluttered with anxieties that swirl constantly. It's a painful reality that all this accumulated baggage can prevent us from truly living lightly and feeling free in these precious years. But what if there was a way to lighten that load, a secret? Perhaps to shedding some of that weight and creating space for more peace and happiness. It's not really a secret, of course, but a conscious choice to let go. In this video, we're going to look at 6 specific areas where we tend to accumulate clutter, and how decluttering them before you turn 70 can make a profound difference, helping you live lighter and feel truly free. It's about creating space, physical, emotional, mental, and even relational space for the life you want to live now. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you about this process and its deeper impact. Let's start with the first big area where many of us feel the weight most visibly, and that's our physical stuff, our homes, our garages, our storage units. They become repositories of a lifetime of memories, purchases, and inheritances. Think about it. You bought things when you were setting up your first home, things when you had children, things for hobbies, things for work, things just because you liked them or thought you might need them someday. Then there are the things other people gave you, things inherited from parents or grandparents, things children left behind when they moved out. It's a mountain of possessions, each piece potentially carrying a memory, a story, or perhaps just the weight of its own existence taking up space. As we get older, managing all this stuff can become physically demanding, mentally draining, and frankly, overwhelming. Dusting it all, organizing it, finding things. It takes energy that many of us would rather spend elsewhere. Beyond the practical burden, there's the emotional weight. Sometimes, looking at certain items can bring up sadness, regret, or nostalgia that keeps us tethered to the past in unhelpful ways. There might be things you keep out of guilt, gifts you don't like, items from relatives you felt obligated to take. The sheer volume can feel suffocating, making your living space feel less like a sanctuary and more like a warehouse. The painful reality is that all this physical clutter isn't just messy. It can genuinely impact your peace of mind and ability to move freely, both literally within your home and figuratively through your life. The secret here, the simple truth, is that you don't need most of it. Decluttering your physical environment is about more than just tidying up. It's about reclaiming your space and your energy. It's about deciding what truly serves you, brings you joy, or is genuinely useful now. In this stage of your life, a good way to start, a simple step, is to pick one small area, maybe a drawer, a shelf, or just one corner of a room. Don't try to do the whole house at once. That's too daunting. Take everything out of that small area. Look at each item. Ask yourself, do I use this? Do I love this? Does it add value to my life right now? Be honest with yourself. If the answer is no to all of those, or if you're keeping it out of guilt or a vague what-if scenario that's unlikely to happen, perhaps it's time to let it go. Create categories: keep, donate, sell, discard. Be ruthless but kind to yourself. It's okay to let go of things that represent past versions of yourself or past lives. Those memories aren't stored in the objects themselves. They're stored within you. Letting go of the object doesn't mean letting go of the memory. For items with sentimental value, perhaps you keep just one or two representative pieces rather than the whole collection. Or take a photograph of the item to preserve the visual memory without keeping the physical object. Selling items can sometimes be more trouble than they're worth, but for valuable items, it might be an option. Donating is a wonderful way to give your unwanted items a new life with someone who needs them. Be sure to check with local charities about what they accept. Discarding is for things that are broken, stained, or genuinely unusable. Be mindful of recycling where possible. It's a process, and it takes time and effort. But the feeling of lightness and freedom you gain from clearing out physical clutter is immense. Imagine opening a closet and seeing only clothes you actually wear and love, or opening a drawer and finding exactly what you need without digging through layers of forgotten items. This clarity in your physical space can bring a surprising sense of clarity to your mind as well. Now, while physical clutter is often the first thing that comes to mind, there's another type of clutter that has grown exponentially in recent decades and can be just as, if not more, overwhelming. Especially for those of us who might not have grown up with it: digital clutter. Think about it. How many emails are sitting in your inbox right now? Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. How many photos are stored on your computer, your phone, or in the cloud? Are they organized? Can you find the picture you're looking for from that family holiday 5 years ago? What about old documents, downloaded files, software you never use, subscriptions you don't read, social media notifications that constantly buzz for your attention? This digital noise is the modern equivalent of overflowing drawers and dusty attics. But it exists in a non-physical space, making it somehow harder to grasp and control. For many of us over 60, navigating the digital world can already feel like stepping into a maze. Add to that the accumulation of years of digital activity, and it can feel utterly overwhelming. There's the fear of deleting something important, the confusion about where files are stored, the sheer volume of information coming at us constantly. The painful reality is that digital clutter isn't just inconvenient. It can be a source of constant low-level stress. An overflowing inbox feels like an endless to-do list. Unorganized photos mean cherished memories are lost in a digital haystack. Too many notifications interrupt our focus and steal our peace. It can make you feel disorganized, out of control, and anxious about missing something important. And when it comes to thinking about legacy, imagine trying to pass on digital photos or important documents to family if they are a disorganized mess. The secret, or rather, the empowering truth, is that just like physical clutter, digital clutter can be tamed with conscious effort and simple strategies. It's about taking control of your digital life instead of letting it control you. A simple step to begin tackling digital clutter is to focus on one area at a time. Just like with physical stuff, start with your email inbox. Dedicate 15 to 20 minutes each day or week to this task. Unsubscribe from newsletters and marketing emails you no longer read. Be ruthless. If you haven't opened an email from a sender in months, unsubscribe. Most email platforms have an easy unsubscribe link, usually at the bottom of the email. Delete emails you don't need to keep. Archive emails you want to hold on to, but don't need in your immediate view. Create folders for important emails you need to reference later, e.g., bills, appointments, family info. Aim for an empty or near empty inbox at the end of your session. It's a surprisingly satisfying feeling of accomplishment. Next, tackle your digital photos. This can be a bigger project, but it's incredibly rewarding. Set aside dedicated time. Go through your photos chronologically or by folder. Delete blurry photos, duplicates, and ones you simply don't like. Organize the remaining photos into logical folders, perhaps by year, by event, e.g. Grandkids Visit 2023, Summer Holiday Cornwall. Or by person. Use descriptive file names if you're feeling ambitious. Consider using a cloud service or an external hard drive to back up your photos, ensuring those precious memories are safe even if something happens to your computer or phone. Think about other files on your computer. Go through your downloads folder. It's often a graveyard of forgotten items. Delete what you don't need. Create folders for documents. G. Financial. Health. House info. Delete old versions of documents. Uninstall software you don't use. Turn off unnecessary notifications on your phone and computer. You don't need to know every time someone posts something online. This process of clearing digital clutter is not just about organization. It's about reducing digital overwhelm, protecting your privacy and security by knowing what's on your devices, and making sure your digital life supports, rather than complicates, your real life. It's about creating a digital environment that feels manageable and safe. Now that we've talked about decluttering the tangible and the digital, let's move to something less visible but often far heavier: emotional clutter. Emotional clutter is the accumulation of unresolved feelings, past hurts, regrets, grudges, and unexpressed emotions that we carry with us. It's like a heavy cloak woven from moments of anger, sadness, disappointment, and fear that we haven't fully processed or let go of. Maybe it's resentment towards a family member for something that happened years ago, regret over a decision you made or didn't make, disappointment about how your life turned out compared to youthful dreams, or lingering sadness over losses you've experienced. These emotions, if not addressed, don't just disappear, they settle within us, influencing our mood, our health, and how we interact with the world today. As we get older, the weight of accumulated emotional baggage can feel particularly heavy. We have a longer past to look back on, more experiences that might have left scars. Carrying these unresolved feelings can manifest physically as stress, anxiety, sleep problems, or even chronic pain. Even mentally, it can lead to rumination, negative thinking patterns, and difficulty being fully present and enjoying life now. The painful reality is that holding on to emotional clutter is like carrying stones in your pockets everywhere you go. It drains your energy and keeps you stuck in the past. It prevents you from experiencing true peace and freedom in the present moment. The secret, the path to living lighter, is acknowledging that these emotions are there and making a conscious effort to process and release them. This isn't about forgetting the past or pretending things didn't happen. It's about removing the emotional charge from those memories so they no longer have power over you today. A simple step towards decluttering emotional baggage is acknowledging the feeling without judgment. When a painful memory or feeling arises, instead of pushing it away or getting lost in it, simply notice it. There's the feeling of regret about that job I didn't take. Or, I'm feeling resentment towards so-and-so again. Just observing the feeling is the first step. Another powerful tool is writing, sometimes. Writing down your feelings in a journal can help you understand them better and externalize them. You can write about the event, how it made you feel, and how you feel about it now. You can even write a letter to the person involved, expressing everything you need to say. You don't have to send it. The act of writing itself can be incredibly cathartic. Forgiveness is a huge part of releasing emotional clutter, and it's often the hardest. Forgiveness isn't about condoning the behavior that hurt you. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. It's a gift you give yourself. This can involve forgiving others, but also forgiving yourself for mistakes you've made or things you regret. This process takes time and can be challenging. And sometimes talking to a trusted friend, family member, or a therapist or counselor can provide invaluable support. Reframing the narrative around past events can also help. Can you find any lessons learned? Any unexpected positive outcomes? Sometimes shifting your perspective can lessen the emotional intensity. Decluttering emotional baggage is an ongoing process, not a one-time event. But actively working on it is essential for living a truly free and peaceful life. It's about making peace with your past, so it doesn't dictate your present or future. As we clear out these internal weights, we create space for lighter, more positive emotions. Now, alongside emotional baggage, There's another area of clutter that can weigh us down significantly as we age, and that's time clutter, specifically the clutter of overcommitment and draining obligations. It might seem counterintuitive to talk about overcommitment as clutter when you're older and perhaps retired, but many people actually find their schedules filling up more than ever. There are grandkids' activities, volunteer roles, club meetings, social engagements, helping out friends, running errands for family, and a seemingly endless list of things we feel we should be doing. Some of these are wonderful and nourishing, but others might be commitments we took on years ago and no longer enjoy, obligations we feel pressured to maintain, or simply too many things packed into our days, leaving no room for rest, spontaneity, or activities we truly love. The painful reality of time clutter is that it steals our most precious resource, our time. It can leave you feeling constantly busy but not necessarily fulfilled, stressed, tired, and pulled in too many directions. You might find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do out of habit, guilt, or a fear of disappointing others. This overcommitment can lead to burnout, resentment, and a feeling that you're living life on other people's terms rather than your own. It's a subtle form of clutter because it's not physical, but it occupies your hours and drains your energy just the same. The secret to decluttering your time is recognizing that your time is valuable and that you have the right to decide how you spend it. It's about setting boundaries and prioritizing your own well-being and desires. A simple step is to take a look at your weekly or monthly calendar. Write down everything you're committed to doing. Now, look at each item on that list. Ask yourself, does this activity genuinely bring me joy or fulfill a purpose that is important to me? Do I look forward to this, or does it feel like a chore or an obligation I dread? Be honest. Just because you've always done something doesn't mean you have to keep doing it. It's okay to step back from commitments that no longer serve you, even if you feel a sense of loyalty or responsibility. This is especially true for volunteer roles, club memberships, or even some social engagements. Learn to say no, politely but firmly. You don't always need a detailed explanation. "I'm so sorry, but I won't be able to commit to that right now," is a perfectly acceptable response. Practice saying it out loud if it feels awkward at first. Prioritize activities that nourish you, spending time with loved ones you genuinely enjoy, pursuing hobbies, relaxing, exercising, learning something new. Block out time in your schedule for these non-negotiable self-care activities. Reduce time spent on draining tasks or people where possible. Delegate tasks if you can. Simplify routines. Decluttering your time isn't about becoming selfish. It's about recognizing that you have a limited amount of energy and time in this phase of life, and you deserve to spend it in ways that bring you peace, joy, and fulfillment. It's about creating space in your schedule so you can breathe, be spontaneous, and focus on what truly matters. It's about taking control of your schedule so you can live your days deliberately. Next up, we'll look at another type of clutter that significantly impacts our well-being: relationship clutter. Relationship clutter refers to connections in our lives that are draining, toxic, based on obligation rather than genuine affection, or simply no longer serve a healthy purpose. As we navigate life, our relationships evolve. Some become stronger, others drift apart naturally, and sometimes, relationships that once were positive can become sources of stress, conflict, or negativity. This isn't about cutting people out of your life lightly, but about honestly evaluating the impact certain connections have on your well-being. Maybe it's a friendship that has become overly negative, a family dynamic that is constantly tense, or an acquaintance you continue to interact with out of habit, even though the interactions leave you feeling depleted. The painful reality of relationship clutter is that these draining connections can significantly impact your mental and emotional health. They can steal your energy, erode your self-esteem, increase your stress levels, and prevent you from fully enjoying the positive relationships in your life. Spending time with people who are constantly critical, who engage in drama, or who don't respect your boundaries is incredibly draining, especially as you get older and your energy levels might naturally be lower. These relationships take up valuable emotional and mental space, creating clutter in your inner world. The secret to decluttering relationship dynamics is recognizing that you have the right to curate your social circle. Prioritizing relationships that are supportive, positive, and respectful. It's about setting healthy boundaries and making conscious choices about where you invest your emotional energy. A simple step is to take an honest inventory of the key relationships in your life, not just immediate family, but friends, extended family, acquaintances. For each significant relationship, ask yourself, how does this person make me feel after spending time with them? Do I feel uplifted, supported, and energized? Or do I feel drained, anxious, or upset? Do they respect my boundaries? Is the relationship reciprocal, or does it feel one-sided? Be honest with yourself. Even if the answers are difficult, this isn't about blame, it's about awareness. Decluttering relationship clutter doesn't always mean cutting ties completely, although sometimes that is the healthiest option. Often, it's about adjusting the dynamics or setting clearer boundaries. This could mean reducing the frequency of contact, limiting the topics you discuss, e.g., steering clear of controversial or negative subjects, spending time together only in certain settings, or simply saying no to invitations that you dread. For example, if a particular family gathering is always stressful, perhaps you attend for a shorter time, or suggest meeting up with specific family members you enjoy at a different time. If a friend is constantly negative, you might limit your conversations to lighter topics or reduce how often you see them. Communicate your needs respectfully, though be prepared that not everyone will understand or respond positively. Your peace of mind is worth navigating some potential discomfort. Focus on nurturing the relationships that are healthy and supportive. Invest your time and energy there. Seek out new connections with people who share your interests and values. Decluttering relationship clutter is about protecting your peace and ensuring that the people you spend time with add to your life, rather than detracting from it. It's about surrounding yourself with positivity and authentic connection. Finally, we come to perhaps the most subtle, yet pervasive, form of clutter: mental clutter. Mental clutter is the constant stream of thoughts, worries, to-do lists, what-ifs, regrets, and limiting beliefs that swirl around in our minds. It's the mental noise that makes it hard to focus, to relax, and to simply be in the present moment. Think about the endless loop of worries about the future, the rehashing of past conversations or events, the self-criticism, the fear of not being good enough, the pressure to remember everything. This internal dialogue, often negative or anxious, can feel overwhelming, making it difficult to hear your own intuition or find peace. For many of us, over 60 mental clutter can be fueled by concerns about health, finances, family, the changing world, and the natural process of aging. It can lead to anxiety, difficulty sleeping, irritability, and a sense of being constantly on edge. The painful reality is that this constant mental chatter takes up an enormous amount of energy and prevents you from experiencing clarity, calm, and joy. It's like having too many browser tabs open in your mind simultaneously. Everything slows down, and you can't concentrate on one thing. It prevents you from appreciating the simple moments of life and can make everything feel more complicated and stressful than it needs to be. The secret to decluttering your mind is becoming aware of your thoughts and learning techniques to quiet the noise and focus your attention deliberately. It's not about having a completely empty mind, which isn't possible, but about learning to manage the flow of thoughts and reduce the grip that negative or anxious thinking has on you. A simple step to begin tackling mental clutter is mindfulness. This means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. You can start small. Focus on your breath for a minute or two. Notice the sensations in your body. Pay attention to the taste and texture of your food, or simply observe what's happening around you without getting caught up in thinking about it. This practice helps you detach from the endless stream of thoughts and brings you back to the here and now. Journaling can also help declutter your mind by getting those swirling thoughts out of your head and onto paper, where you can look at them more objectively. Challenging limiting beliefs is another powerful tool. These are the ingrained thoughts we have about ourselves or the world that hold us back. E.g., I'm too old to learn something new. I'm not capable. Things are only going to get worse. Question these beliefs. Are they actually true? What evidence do you have? Can you reframe them into more positive or realistic thoughts? Setting aside dedicated worry time can also help. If you find yourself constantly worrying, schedule 15 minutes each day to sit and think about your worries. Outside of that time, when a worry pops up, tell yourself, I'll think about that during my worry time, and gently bring your attention back to what you're doing. This trains your mind not to dwell on worries constantly. Limiting exposure to negative news and social media can also significantly reduce mental clutter and anxiety. Practice gratitude. Intentionally thinking about things you are thankful for shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. Decluttering your mind is about creating inner space for peace, clarity, and positive thinking. It allows you to be more present, make clearer decisions, and enjoy life with less internal noise. It's a continuous practice, but the rewards, greater peace, less stress, more joy, are immense. So, we've talked about shedding the weight in 6 key areas: clearing out the physical stuff that fills your space, taming the digital noise that overwhelms your screens and storage, releasing the emotional baggage from the past that weighs on your heart, reclaiming your valuable time from draining obligations, curating your relationships to surround yourself with positive connections, and quieting the mental clutter that fills your mind with noise. It might sound like a lot, but remember, this isn't about becoming a minimalist overnight or achieving some perfect state of clutter-free existence. It's about the process. It's about making conscious choices, bit by bit, to lighten your load and create space for what truly matters in this chapter of your life. Imagine how much more energy, peace, and freedom you could have if you shed even just a little bit of weight in each of these areas. Each small step you take, whether it's clearing out a single drawer, unsubscribing from 10 email lists, forgiving a minor transgression, saying no to one draining commitment, setting a boundary in a difficult relationship, or simply taking a few mindful breaths, makes a difference. These actions build on each other, creating momentum and a growing sense of liberation. It's about making room for joy, for spontaneity, for deeper connections, and for simply being present in your life without the weight of unnecessary baggage. The surprising thing I wanted you to watch until the end, for it's this decluttering isn't just about getting rid of things. It's fundamentally about making space for yourself. It's about honoring your time, your energy, your peace of mind, and your well-being. It's an act of self-care, a way of preparing for the years ahead by ensuring they are filled with lightness and freedom, rather than burden. It's about deciding that you are more important than your possessions, your past hurts, your endless to-do lists, or other people's expectations. It's about giving yourself permission to live a life that feels spacious and free. Start small, celebrate the little wins, and be patient with yourself. This journey of decluttering is a gift you give to yourself. I hope this has given you some ideas and motivation to start thinking about areas in your own life where you might be carrying unnecessary weight. What's one small step you feel you could take this week to declutter in one of these areas? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights could be helpful to others in our community. If you found this video helpful or encouraging, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you'd like more tips and ideas for living your best life at every age, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for watching and for being a part of this journey. Live your best life, live lighter, and feel free.